Alrighty, here I am back again. I will show you right away my Magellan deck because I'm sitting here anyway, so why not just do both of them? So why Magellan? I already cut to it from the other video. I don't know if you watched it, so I'll just repeat it quickly. I'll try not to talk too much this time around. Okay, so Magellan. I love Impel Down. I love Magellan. I tried to make the Magellan and Impel Down setting work in Crocodile. It did not work, so I tried out a little what else can work, right? And the obvious choice, like if blue purple doesn't work, is trying blue purple Kaido and trying Magellan because we don't have any more purple stuff that we can use except for Kaido and King. But like I said, love Magellan, so I went with Magellan, and this is what I came up with. I just recently won a um, display tournament with 32 people and Top Cut, so I had to play 5 games, five, I think, five, and then I had to. Then the top 8 players from the tournament had to play against each other. First place against 8th place, second against 7th, and yeah, you know how it works. And then yeah, I won. I went for 1 and got 8th place, super close. Then I had to play against the first player, who played Zoro. Then I had to play in the quarterfinals against Whitebeard, and then I had to play in the finals against a Sanji actually, and yeah, then I won the whole thing. That was pretty good, and I'll show you the deck list with which I did it. So, the board. Since I'm still a Crocodile main at heart, obviously I have the Crocodile math. First we have Magellan. Just a little reminder what he does. He's a 5 mana, 5k, 5 life leader. Um, honestly, I love playing 5 life. I didn't realize that I really liked it because I only played Blubber Crocodile up until now, and I'm so used to having 4 life. But the freedom of taking a life just for fun, just because you can, that's so awesome. Seriously, that's really insane. So, 5 life. When you return a Dawn once per turn on your turn, you get 1k. So this dude is a 6k attacker, basically, because you always return a Dawn, almost always. So this dude automatically is really good against Whitebeard, because Whitebeard has 6,000 power, which means you always have to attack with 6k, which means if you're just playing all your Dawn out, you never can attach a Dawn and can attack. So every leader has to play around that by attaching a Dawn and just playing off curve. You can never play on curve, or you're not attacking, which means you're losing tempo. And Magellan doesn't have that problem. He can just play on curve every single time, because he can just minus Dawn, get 1000, and just hit you in the face. So that's really good. So we're starting off. We got 2 times the movie guy. 2k counter. You can look at the top 5 cards to search for a movie film character. I rarely ever use that. Mostly it's like just a 2k counter. Now we have 4 times Uta. She's searchable by him and is a 4 mana 5k blocker that can, for -1 Dawn, rest another unit. This card is just super good against aggressive matchups like Zoro and Whitebeard, but also against other matchups like Green, because Green has blockers like Law and small blockers that cost 1, and you can rest everything basically with her in terms of like blockers and a lot of attackers, except for the really big guys. So that's just a really good card. Also, she draws in jet pistols so much. Every single time I play her on 4, she just gets jet pistoled away. So it's really good. Then we got 4 times Shiki. Shiki is a 2k counter as well. I don't ever play him if I have him in hand, but I always play him in the Zoro matchup if I have him in the trigger, in the live. You can -1 Don and play him for free, basically, and then you have something that can clear the board. Super important card against the Zoro matchup. Now, this guy is the sauce of the deck. Why I keep winning every single time I play. Gil Tesoro, 5 mana, 6,000. On attack, you return 2 Dawn. That means he gets 1,000. And then you get to draw 2 cards. So this guy gives you so much card advantage. In return, you have to like lose a little tempo. But you're not really losing tempo because he costs 5, which means even if you play him on curve, in the next turn you're on 7. And if you use his ability again, then you would just stay on 7. But the thing is, you almost never play him on 5. You almost always play him on 7 or on 9, like later in the stages. Or you play him on 5 and you don't use the ability right away. That's fine as well. But I almost never use his ability on 7 Dawn. I keep it for later. Or I play him later, depending on what the board state is. Like if I have played her before and she got Jet Pistol, I'll play him, no problems, no worries, I just play him. And against green, for example, I can just play him on 5 as well. They rest him, I just drop off something else, protect him, and then keep building up the board. And then in 9 mana, I'll use his ability. Because I rarely ever keep 10 Dawn. Really, actually never keep 10 Dawn. So then we got the Douglas Bullet. That's a little different from the decks you see online. I've seen a lot of people playing the 5 cost 6,000 Douglas Bullet that taps a 4 cost, which is really good. No problems with that. I just enjoy this one more, and I will show you exactly why I love this card so much in a minute. I'll keep it here. This is the movie cards. All these cards are searchable with the Buena Vista dude. But like I said, I rarely use it. Sometimes you really brick super hard early and you notice, damn, I have nothing in my hand. Then you can use this guy in order to search for something that you can play that could potentially save you the game. Okay, so this is that. Let's keep this here because we need it in a minute. Now we got the cards that do not have anything to do with any set. We have 2 times X-Strike, just a 2k counter. With a Buena Vista, this makes 4, so we have 3 characters 4 times, which is 12 2k counters. Then we got Queen, simply because she's still one of the strongest purple cards we have. 5 mana, 6,000. -1 Don, he gets plus 1,000, and you get to draw 2 cards and discard something that you don't want. It's just so good. That's why we have it. Now we got King. Absolutely important card. A must-have in this deck. A must-have in every single purple deck, actually, because the meta, if you look at every single deck stacks 4 cost units. So we got blue that has Mr. 3 and the scissor girl guy, whatever. 4,000, 4 mana blockers. Then you have the green deck that has a lot of 1-drops and has Okiku and has Yamato, the 4K, the 4 cost. So he can remove all of that. Then you got Whitebeard, who has Straw Hat Luffy 4 cost, Frankie 4 cost, the Whitebeard guy 4 mana 6,000 4 cost. So if you want to play against Whitebeard or any other deck, this dude is just so important. And I mean, Magellan already has a number on Whitebeard anyways because he gets 1k extra every turn. And if you can get King to remove his board after you have tried to clear it beforehand. So Whitebeard has to drop some cards, and then you clear it anyways, so he wasted the cards basically. That's just like so huge in tempo. And at the next turn, you can just attach a Dawn and have an 8k, and Whitebeard probably needs to use some of his spells in order to block that. So this is your win condition in the Whitebeard matchup. Now we get to the Impel Down side of things. We have Hannibal, 1 mana Searcher. You never play this card against black. If you play him against black, you auto-lose. You're trolling and you're losing. Use it as a 1k counter. Never play it against any other deck. If you're not playing against black, it's just a really good card because it can search you any Impel Down cards. These are the Impel Down cards. I'll show you in a second. So this just offers you a lot of utility in terms of like, what do I want to play? Where do I want to go? Now we got the strongest spell in the game, Hell's Judgment. That thing is broken. That thing is the reason why this deck works against every deck. Against every single deck. Because it gives -1 Dawn. And you get 2 characters or leader -3000. That means for 2 Dawn, I can take out 2 minions, or I can block 2 attacks. That's insane. And 3000 is no joke. 3000 is an insane number. People like to attack with 7, right? 7 is the magical number. 7 is 1k too little for Hell's Judgment. That means he wasted 2 Dawn, and another minion is attack reduced as well. So yeah, pretty good card. Now we got Little Sadie. She's a 2k counter, and I use her as a 2k counter 80% of the time. If I have to go first, I don't want to go first, but if I have to go first, she's the tempo card. You want to have her in hand early, you want to play her on 3 every single time in order to get one of the Jailer Beasts. This guy, Mino Koala and Minotaur. Either a blocker that ramps you on death or a double attacker that ramps you on death. Like, she's just such a powerful, fast 3-drop, right? But you actually want to go second with the deck. So you just play those on 4 on their own and keep this as a 2k counter in hand. But if you have to go first, you play her, play one of those for free, and just aggression all around the board. All of these cards, again, searchable by Hannibal. And then to top it all off, we have 4 times the Magellan. 5 mana on play. You give up a Dawn. He gets plus 1000. And the opponent gives up 1 Dawn, which means you ruin their curve. You ruin their game plan. And if he dies, they have to give up 2 Dawn as well. Which means most of the time, they will not clear him. Which means you get free aggression every single turn. You can just put on the aggro. So now, we wanted to talk about the bullet. Why bullet instead of the 5 mana bullet? I will show you right away. In the perfect world, we are playing first or second. Doesn't matter. If we're going first, perfect play is we play Sadie on 3, and we play either this or this. It doesn't matter. So we play this, and we're on 3 mana. Next turn, we're on 5 Dawn, right? Now what we want to do is we either play a Gil Tesoro or we play a Magellan. It doesn't matter. If we play the Magellan, we will not use his ability. We will not. Instead, we will attack with either this or we will not attack with this, depending on what it is. Minotaur is so oppressive with the double attack that the enemy will need to remove him. He will remove him 100% of the time. And if he removes him, you get an Arrested Dawn. If he does not remove him and attacks you just directly, your mini caller, you just throw it in, you just let it die, because you get Arrested Dawn. That means you're on 6. That means in the next turn, in the 4th turn, you're on 8. And that means you just play this. You get Magellan into Douglas Bullet. that is so insane. And at this point, you're not losing the game anymore. This is a point, a board state where you just win. In the next turn after that, you got 10 Dawn. That means you can just play 4 for him or whatever. You can play for 4 Uta, doesn't matter. You can use his ability, rest 2 things, clear the board completely, double attack. You just keep winning. At this point, the game is actually over. And that's so good. And if you're going second, it doesn't matter either way. Anyway, you go 4 mana this one, 6 mana this one. Now you can even use this ability. This dies. You're on 8 again because you're back on curve. You can play him. And we got the same board state, but the opponent lost a Dawn. That's why we love playing second, because playing second helps us out so much. Because when we're on 6 Dawn, that means he's on 7 Dawn next turn. And that's 7 Dawn is like the magical number for so many cards, because Ivankov or whatever 7 cost kit, all those good 7 drops, and you prevent it by playing this on 6, and he's only at 6 instead of 7 at the next turn. And he played a 6 drop or whatever he did, 4 drop and 2 drop, and you put this one on the board, and he then can only play a 7 cost or 8 cost unit. So tempo-wise, this deck is just so freaking good. And like I said, they can't remove this. This is constantly tapped, you're constantly attacking with it, and they can't remove it because they keep losing so much Dawn. Really, really impressive card, really good card. Actually, really, really good deck. I have struggled a little bit with black because if you play Hanyabal, you lose the game. Black is just that good against 1-drops. But if you don't do that, you don't really have any matchups that are like super, super bad. You can play every matchup, you can win every matchup, but it really depends on how you play it and how you what your focus is on the board. Like I'm not constantly hitting double attack on the life. I keep controlling the board. I use this ability to rest the board and just clear the board out and then play it slowly. Like I think that's the right way to play the deck. And like I said, keeping Gil Tesoro alive is so key, because even if you don't have Douglas Bullet or whatever, just the sheer amount of card draw that you get every single turn from attacking is insane. I have so many games where I'm on 8 Dawn and I just whatever play some blockers for 8 Dawn and then just go 6 with this, 6 with this, return 2 Dawn. That means I'm never getting over 8 Dawn, but it doesn't matter. And we could just keep hitting 3 times for 6. We got some blockers. Yeah, I mean, what else do you want, right? Like the 10 Dawn, 2 Dawn more or less, it's not like it makes a difference. I can play everything in this deck with 8 Dawn. So yeah, that's the game plan. I can show you some gameplay. And I can show you some other decks. I have made an Akainu deck that I really enjoy. So if you, if you want to hear a little bit more about whatever, just let me know and I'll try to make it work. See you.